Hey fellas, it's Jaffe. Real quick, this just came across my news feed from our buddy, our member Zandatsu, talking about Google Stadia creative director, or one of the Google Stadia creative directors. I guess there's numerous ones. Alex Hutchinson. If you don't know Alex, I've never met him, but he was the director of Assassin's Creed 3, Far Cry 4, Army of Two, The 40th Day. He's worked on The Sims and Spore, and he also is the director of Journey to the Savage Planet, which I think is out already. In his company, or the company he worked at, I think that company got purchased by Stadia. Okay, so he tweets this out. You can read it for yourself, but I'll just give you the gist. He basically is talking about streamers that are complaining about, oh no, our content's being pulled because we're using music we didn't pay for. And he's basically saying, hey, if you're complaining about that, you're going to be more worried when game publishers start to pull their games because you didn't pay for them or you didn't pay a license to stream them. And if publishers wanted to do that, they could do it tomorrow. And if they decide to do it, then you're really going to have something to complain about. So I have a few things to say about this. Number one, he's absolutely right. Streamers are not owed. I do a show, Gabbin' and Games, and the game part is all stream games after we've spent an hour to 2 hours talking about video games, game design, whatever. Yeah, he's right. There's absolutely nothing to stop the publishers from saying you're not allowed to stream our shit at all, or unless you pay for a licensing fee. It's a totally valid opinion, just like you can't stream a movie over the internet unless you have the Twitch deal with Amazon Prime or whatever. There's nothing he's saying that's wrong. A lot of people on the thread over at Reset Era have been like, you don't understand, the streamers give you publicity. It depends. If it's a small game, sure, it can't hurt. It actually can help. Certainly if you look at something like the success of Fall Guys, if you look at something like the success of Fortnite, if you look at something like the success of Among Us, there is no doubt that those games have thrived because of the streamer community. There's no doubt that Among Us didn't become what it is today with fucking AOC going online and getting basically 500,000 people watching her 2 nights ago because streamers found that game 2 years after it was published, and the right streamers found it at the right time and turned it into a phenomenon. So, but do I think like Alex's game, or do I think we just played Phoenix Immortals Phoenix Rising today, the demo on Stadia? Do I think that game's going to suffer if people don't stream it? Of course not. That game's going to be, and one could argue that story-based games like The Last of Us or even God of War would get hurt by letting people stream those games. So, whether or not you can make the argument that the stream helps sales, I think is totally dependent on the game. But he's right. The publishers can pull it, whatever. So fucking pull it. I mean, Google, you work for Google now, Alex. Google's whole pitch, not that Google Stadia is probably going to be in business that much longer unless you guys change your moronic business model. And I just played Stadia today. I love the Stadia experience. Your business model is fucking foolish, okay? But regardless, let's assume you are still in business. Phil Harrison stands on stage and says, we're making a platform that's going to help streamers on YouTube. Remember the whole thing? Like, I still can't do it with Bomberman, but you guys were supposed to make it so I could bring people watching the stream into my game. Come on, man. What are you doing? But I mean, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I respect that. Here's what I take major issue with, but whatever. It is what it is. I was the same. When I was a developer and I heard all these people doing YouTube shit complaining about, oh no, it's the adpocalypse and all this shit. I was just like, dude, you fucking make videos. You look in the camera and you talk. Who gives a shit, right? That's what I thought, because I didn't know, because I had never done it and I didn't watch a lot of these things. Now I do, and I do it. And obviously I have a different perspective. So when he says, the two issues I have a problem with is when he says people tune in to watch their show, in air quotes or quotes, like it's not a real show. Or when he says, if they think they don't need to pay for the game they're using, then they can make a show without using the game and see how it goes. Alex, do you realize, I mean, again, I'm not talking about Ninja. I know who you're talking about, but I would like to say on behalf of myself, go fuck yourself. Okay? Because I put a lot into my show. I do a lot of research. I sometimes have people come on and do interviews. I talk about industry analysis that I've built up over 20 fucking years doing your job in the industry. I can't say that other streamers don't put the same effort into theirs. I don't know. But I do take issue when you come in with your little stupid fucking air quotes and call it a show. And when you basically say, yeah, I'll take my game away. See how that goes, streamer. It'll go fine, pal. Take your fucking game away. I don't have a problem with it because I can fill 2 hours with content about video games, including people in video games like jackasses, clearly like you, that have no problem shitting on other people's work. So not a problem, pal. If you want to take your game away, Alex, go ahead. If Google wants to take away the ability for streamers to pull people in while you're still in business with that service, go ahead, pal. But I'm not terribly worried about it because I think I can fill 2 hours with compelling content. Can you? I don't know. We'll play your new game and we'll see. We'll see what your next game plays like. I hear Assassin's Creed 3, which I haven't played, shat the bed a little bit. Love the theme, though. Seriously, I know you're the creative director. I absolutely love the theme of Assassin's Creed 3, Alex. The whole American Revolution was great. Heard the gameplay wasn't that great. Could have been great, though. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying I heard it wasn't. But what are you going to do? Alex, that's my take on your take. It's really, you don't need to respond. Not that you'll ever see this, but I wanted to respond because you piss me off, pal. I got nothing against you. I'm sure we'll be friends in real life. If I make games again someday, we'll be colleagues. But I do think this is a mean-spirited take. Not that you want to suggest that publishers have a right to take their games away. They absolutely do. And I would have no problem with that because that's their right. And we are playing their games on the pleasure of them letting us. And they have a right to do that. I don't have a problem with that, of your take. I have a problem with you sort of belittling people who are doing streams and videos and YouTubes and all that. And maybe you don't know. When I was in your position, I didn't know. It's a lot of hard work. It's fun, but it's a lot of work, and it's not a show. It's a show. Just like your game is not a game. Well, most of your games are not games. They're games.